before I start this podcast, I recorded this episode before I decided to become sober. So if I sound drunk, it's probably because I was. But yeah, I didn't relapse or anything like that. So enjoy the episode. And again, this was before I decided to become sober. Welcome to the Bogart Podcast, episode number 24. I'm Evan Bogart. With me today is my co-host David Parshall, and we got a show for you today. Yeah.
It's so bright. Holy shit.
What?
Something it just got super bright. Did you accidentally
It's my bald head, so...
No, it's not that. It's the light. Just got super bright.
Yeah, so,
Are you using those lights?
Yep.
From the television studio?
Yeah. Basically, while we were recording, we were doing FaceTime, and I decided to get the lights out, and so David could see me, because my new desk is in a corner, and it's pretty dark. So I bust out the LED lights, and yeah. So
where are you in the house?
I am...
Kitchen table?
No. That's with last time I podcast.
Did you rearrange the house?
Yeah. We completely rearranged it. Because Laura wanted to, so we did.
And it's nothing like a woman's touch.
Yes, exactly. So, call the show, 585-678-1660.
Yeah, call right now.
And email the show, thebogartpodcast@gmail.com. And so, yeah, how's you... Well, last time we recorded was last Saturday, right?
I don't even remember. Saturday or Sunday or...
Yeah, it was Saturday.
Something.
It was New Year's Eve. And...
New Year's Eve. Was it New Year's
Yep.
Eve?
We recorded, and yeah, so...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I didn't even make it to midnight.
Oh, you didn't?
I don't think. Well, let's rephrase. Harper tried her hardest to stay up, but I don't know what time it was that she was out like a light, but the fireworks were just going on like crazy. When we got done doing the video, I took her downstairs to go see if we could see any fireworks, but we couldn't. We could hear them, but we couldn't see any. And then, so, it's got to be around... It had to have been midnight, because just, the fireworks were non-stop.
Oh, really?
For I don't know how long it was, but it would have been great to see them, but I was in bed.
It was probably all the state of Florida at the point.
Yeah. Well, we're, in the heart of the city, right? And, I guess so there's a couple bridges, real close, because there's a shit ton of bridges in this town. One of them, the Matthews Bridge, made famous in that one Limp Bizkit song.
Okay.
It was John Otto, take him to the Matthews Bridge.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're from Jacksonville. There's some redneck fuckers from Jacksonville. But anywho, so Jess was saying that, one of the bridges right by, they're doing the fireworks off of that. And, yeah, but it was crazy. I can see why, vets with PTSD don't the 4th of July and, and fireworks and all that shit, because it was crazy. I mean, I've never been in war. I've been in, fake war.
Yeah.
But nothing where I've ever, experienced anything traumatizing, because I didn't fight in any wars. But, yeah, it was crazy. It was, going on, nonstop for what seemed like hours, but it was probably only, 15 minutes. But yeah, so that was our New Year's Eve.
Yeah, we stayed up till midnight, and I opened up a bottle of champagne, and it wasn't that easy. Like you said before, you had the one bottle that was like opposite from righty tighty, lefty loosey. Mine was
Yeah.
just a regular cork, but it was
See, those I have no problem with.
yeah. Me though, with my hands, my lengthy hands,
With your Parkinson's.
yeah, with my Parkinson's hands, yeah, it was a little bit rough, but I finally got it out, and there's a lot of views on my Instagram of that because I posted on Instagram reel, and it's booming. I think.
Are you trying to open it or are you drinking?
No, I was both. I would, I popped it and then I drank it and I said Happy New Year's to your family, to
Yeah.
ours. So
So you sent that to me via text message, like, oh, how thoughtful.
yeah, and I posted that on Instagram and I think it's booming. So maybe I'll go viral and then people will start seeing our podcast.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
But yeah, so we did that and I think we watched the Central New York time.
In Central New York time, there's no Central New York.
Or,
There's only one New York
yeah.
time. That's Eastern time.
Yeah, no, Central Time in the United States. We watched that ball drop and then we fell asleep. So,
Cool.
yep,
Cool.
and we made a bunch of fried air fryer food, and yeah, it was a good time. But I think we talked about that in the last podcast. So,
Yeah, we ended up watching The Hobbit trilogy.
okay, how was that?
Lord of the
I've
Rings
seen
and
the
the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I've watched Lord of the Rings, and haven't seen The Hobbit.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
If you're into the J.R.R. Tolkien stuff, like I saw one of the movies, the second one, in theaters.
Okay.
Back when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see the first one or the last one, but it's all on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
I think is what we watched it. So we watched all of it the whole weekend,
Nice.
Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, I
And then we
remember.
started.
I remember when I think the first Lord of the Rings came out. It was my dad was a lead Bible school teacher, and so he was like, "Oh, let's take the kids to go see Lord of the Rings." And Lord of the Rings, isn't it like 2.5 hours long?
God, they're like 3 hour
Yeah.
long movies.
So, I'm not a big sci-fi person. Never been.
Well, you're
and-
good. You're in luck because I don't think it's sci-fi.
Okay,
I think
fantasy
it's, I think it's-
sci-fi?
I think it's just fi
Okay.
fantasy, right? Because then no wait, sci-fi. I mean science fiction, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
It's just fantasy.
yeah, it's fantasy movie stuff, and I remember telling my dad, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, and I ended up playing arcade games for the last hour of it.
for 3 hours.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, when I got older, I started watching more of the Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not, it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. My Uncle Scott loves the Lord of the Rings stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Lord of the Rings is so old
Oh yeah,
that I'm pretty sure like my cousin Nathan got him the trilogy on VHS
oh really?
way back in the day, and like the extended cut, I think. So that it was like even longer and boring. It's so boring. The extended cuts are so boring.
Yeah,
And Frodo is just worthless. He's just worthless.
isn't he the one
in the
that
movie.
saves the whole realm of the fucking movie? He's transporting
something like that. He just drops the ring in the fire.
yeah,
Struggles to get there.
yeah,
But yeah.
but
And then we started the Rings of Power, which is on Amazon, that takes place 1,000 years before the Fellowship of the Ring or whatever, or the Hobbit or whatever it was, whatever came first. Not like the movies wise, but And I was just like falling asleep watching that. I was like, I'm going to bed. And that was at like 10 o'clock yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's what, Wednesday?
Yep.
And nothing's been going on. That's it.
Yeah.
What day is it today? It's the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So like 4 days into sober year.
Oh yeah, how's it?
361 to go. No problem at all.
No.
No.
Now, how are you gonna do when we do the podcast studio and I want to have a couple of beers? Am I not gonna be able to drink?
You can drink. I'm not addicted to alcohol. I'm not one of those people that's gonna get triggered.
Well, I don't know. I mean, some people have addictive personalities and stuff like that. So I mean, I can't.
You know what? In fact, I encourage you to drink.
Oh, don't say
and
that.
You should let me make your cocktails.
All right. So, into that being said, hopefully tomorrow, after Laura gets out of work, if it's not raining and pretty shitty, I'm gonna ask her.
Wait, it's winter. It should be snowing.
Yeah, I know, but good upstate New York's weather is like 40 degrees and foggy all day.
That's that January thaw, right?
Yeah, something like that. But
thanks a lot, Obama.
Yeah, I want to go look at some sheds. I'm thinking we're gonna do that. I'm thinking.
Awesome.
I emailed the park managers up in Cook Properties here at good old Wishenwell Trailer Park, and yeah, I'm gonna see either I can get the shed for free across the road. It's like a big red shed. I think it would be perfect. If we can't get that, then I'm gonna purchase a shed. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, with Lowe's and Home Depot, you can do like finance it, right?
Yep.
Where you have a small monthly down payments and.
I don't want to use because I have a Lowe's card, and it has like $1 billion limit, and I don't really want to use that unless I have a case of emergency or stuff like that.
Yeah, and a shed's not an emergency.
No. So they have a big sign on 5 and 20 in where I live. It says rent to own. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if it's like a rent-a-center, you know?
It's probably not like a rent-a-center, but you're like, or like paying for it until you pay it off type of thing.
So, yeah. So I'm in.
But I'd say don't make any.
Well, we need a shed anyways.
Don't make any major purchases until the spring.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look into it and see what they have, because I've been looking at, because what I told you before, like I'm worried about the winters and stuff like that, like ruining the equipment inside. But I looked on Amazon. They have a AC unit, right, that goes into the windows. And they have them now where they blow heat and cool, so it's like kind of like a central air. And the shed is not that big, so I'm sure if let's say the coldest nights, I could plug it in and turn on the heat and blow that. Might increase the electric bill a little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So
you just get a small little space heater in there.
Yeah.
Keep it like at 50 degrees.
Yeah, something like that. And then the other thing too is that I'm gonna have to get a security camera out there.
That's okay.
But Ring sells pretty affordable ones, and so yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna probably do that. Let's get a shed and do that, because my dad brought up a good point. If we did get in an office space and we started getting going and stuff like that, and we ended up getting like a business license and stuff like that to make money, and we weren't accessible to disability people, like with wheelchairs and stuff like that, they can sue us. That's how some people go out of their way to sue people just because their businesses aren't accessible and stuff like that. My dad, he is the worst.
He's been sued so many times. He knows all about it.
No, he hasn't been sued, but he's the devil advocate. Let's say that, because he always looks at the negative on everything, and so it's a good opinion, but at the bad opinion, because if I mean, it's just, yeah, he brought up some good points, and
it's like, well, if you're like, renting from an office place,
yeah,
it's not your job, or it's not your priority to make sure that the whole place is accessible to handicapped
yeah.
folk. That's the
Property manager's owner,
if you will. I mean, you're not the property manager. Like you, like if it's not accessible to handicap, then like Mr. Evan Curtis Bogart can go and sue the property manager because this place isn't accept handicapped folk, and you cater to the handicapped people on the podcast,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying?
So I mean, like, it's I just don't want to take the risk of anything happening, and stuff like that, and being even more. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, besides the matter, we're gonna get a shed. I'm gonna look into it, and we're gonna do it. My dad. It was funny. I called my mom. I call my mom every other day just to see how she's doing. And my mom's like, you know what Dad said? And I'm like, what? He's like, you better save up for a wedding. I'm like,
why? Who's getting married?
Well, no. He just thinks that we're gonna get married, me and Laura.
Yeah, you should.
Well, as I told my mom,
you have been together for almost 10 years. What are you afraid of? You can't be afraid of commitment because you've been committed to each other for almost 10 years.
Yeah, but me and Laura had the same opinion. If we were going to ever get married, it would be like go to the courthouse and have a couple people over and get drunk and whatnot. But
hey, that's okay.
Yeah,
it's
just that though. Like, I think it's just like this. Marriage, right? It's like another commitment, and sometimes that commitment, even further than the one you have now, can break a person. If that makes sense.
What are you still afraid of?
I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not. Me and Laura have been together for 7 and something years.
If you like it, then you better put a ring on it. Besides, I know a perfect photographer.
That would be your wife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe I can hire your wife to do group photos of me, Lucy, Maddie, and Laura.
Maybe.
So I mean, like,
I'll shoot that by her and see what she charges, because a lot of the times what she people, not all the time, but on occasion, commission her to design a tattoo.
Okay.
And she doesn't charge what she should. And people come to her to design something, and she doesn't charge what she should. And she's done a couple of weddings for our friends, and it was like, oh, it's our gift to you.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what happened with the people that took the photos at our wedding.
Okay. Didn't you say you didn't even get the photos yet, or something?
Yeah, we don't even have the photos.
Oh my god.
We had to go and buy the photos from her, but she took the photos for free because she uses some kind of third party thing. And but Jess's grandparents bought the photos.
Okay.
So we don't even have the photos to our wedding, but yeah. And I'm I haven't talked to my mom in forever, but so she's got her wedding venue.
Yeah.
I told her to when people ask for recommendations for a caterer, use this person. My old boss is what I tell her. Tell her to recommend my old boss, and then I'm gonna start telling her to recommend Jessica for when we go back up there to be a photographer.
Well, that's a double-edged sword there. I mean, she might be good at taking photos, but what happens if the person doesn't like the photos and ends up suing her?
Well, then you shouldn't have hired.
That's it. Has she ever photographed a wedding before?
Yeah.
Oh, she has?
Mm-hmm.
How many?
Two of them. Two.
Okay.
Two. I mean, she used to be a professional photographer. Like, got paid to be a photographer.
Okay.
And she's published, too. A published author.
Oh.
Or, I don't want to say author, but a published writer in, papers and whatnots. And, yeah. So she used to, get paid. This was, like, before the Navy. I think in college. So when she's, most college kids are baristas or whatever. She was a photographer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
She knows her stuff.
She's not going to go in with no idea what she's doing. She has some kind of knowledge, But you know what?
She uses a M7 camera.
Okay.
It makes a Nikon look like a disposable. No, but what I think would be like a cool, I'm sure there's people out there that do it. So the one wedding that she did of our friends, it was in Kentucky. So we have a little Kodak.
Disposables.
Not a disposable. It's a Polaroid. I'm sorry, not a Kodak. A Polaroid.
Okay.
Like the new wave Polaroid, where it takes forever to print out this tiny little picture that's like that big. So we had like a photo booth, right? Where we had all the things.
Yeah.
And people could go and take pictures and go reload it themselves and hang it up on this thing. So do a thing like that, but with disposable cameras. And I thought this was the greatest thing. I've seen it a couple times. You take an old Volkswagen bus, right? You make it drivable, but then you make it a photo booth, and you call it a photo bus. So you get into the back seat, right? And then you're looking at the front of where the driving section is. So you got the camera thing there, mm-hmm. and a box or something. You can either do an iPad or an actual camera. And then in the back you got all the props that people can pick and put on, and they sit in there, and then they do a photo booth.
Yeah.
Bus.
The only devil's advocate, like my dad would say, someone trips and falls off your bus. Is it reliable for the people that threw the wedding, or
why you have an LLC, right? A limited liability, where you are not liable. They can't go after you personally for stuff, and you.
I don't know. It's my dad's advocate.
It's enter at your own risk type of thing.
Everyone signs it off.
You are not liable for someone getting hurt.
No.
I mean, if you you go to places hotels, a good example. We are not. They always have a thing that says we are not liable for vehicles getting broken into or damaged or stolen goods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's. I don't know. Lately, my dad's advice is caught up to me, and I think of everything triple. You would think about it once, think about it twice, think about it 3 times, and I don't know. Maybe it's just my old age getting up there.
What do you mean? You're only 29.
Yeah, 29. But
motherfucker, you look 40.
I know. My hair. Funny thing about today. So, Laura was like, "Oh, I gotta cut your hair," and so today I looked in the mirror when I was taking a shit at work, and my middle of my head, if you look at my face, it's bald up top, but there's little hair growing, and it was a mohawk.
Yeah.
It was like a little mohawk, and I'm like, oh my god. So, I took the water from the sink, and I'm matting it down, trying to... And so, tomorrow the beard's going to go, and the hair is going to go.
Oh, just leave the hair, man. Just keep grow it out.
Yeah, and then I look like fucking weirdo 70s porn star. So
just leave the mustache.
Nah, Laura doesn't like the mustache. I had a mustache. So this past, I think it was fall, I had a mustache for a while. Like, I think a week. And Laura didn't kiss me. She didn't, she was like, nope, the mustache has got to go. And I wanted to have it for a while, but yeah.
I hate facial hair.
Happy wife, happy life.
As you can see, I got all this.
Yeah.
I'm just so lazy, and I don't want to shave.
Yeah.
And I need to get a new razor. I think I have another one. I use disposable ones, and they last me months and months and months because I don't have a lot of facial hair, but that's okay.
Yeah. With me though, I have to prepare. So if I want to, let's say I grew my beard out for like, let's say a month, I have to get a certain kind of shaving cream, a certain kind of razor, and I have to go to town. It takes me about 15 minutes to get from a full beard to butt naked skin. So
what you should do is go to a barber shop that has, the shaving package. Just treat yourself.
Yeah, but you know what though?
You're like, do your magic, cuz.
Yeah.
Go to so like get a fancy schmancy haircut with your 8-inch part and get shaved with a straight razor.
Yeah, I mean, it's an ordeal having facial hair, and you know what though? I've been thinking that we talked about this in the past podcasts, going to Turkey for $2,000 and getting hair implants.
Yeah, you gonna do it?
Man, it's tempting. It's only $2,000, and they put you up in a hotel, and they give you surgery and all that. But I don't know. But I guess you know what? With me going down the road and being bald, it's just life now. And you know what's crazy though? Because I was like, Laura, can I wear a hat at the hospital? She's like, no. I'm like, okay, so I'm so used to people seeing me bald now, I don't give a shit anymore.
Speaking of like your hair and all that's like that Christmas photo of your brother and your dad and your family.
Yeah, all bald.
It's like Paul is like gray.
Yeah, he's getting. I mean, I think he's
only what 37,
36 or 37. Yeah.
That dude is gray.
Yeah, he's getting. Well, my dad, he's white, like white hair, all over, and my beard right now is like pepper. They have some white, some gray, so it's getting like every day it's getting more pepper throughout. Not the whole body, but like my beard and shit like that. So
yeah, you should see my cousin Nathan. He's got a lot of gray.
Oh really?
Yeah, and my oldest sister Heather, she's got a lot of gray too.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
But Nathan's lives in a house with 4 girls.
Now if people don't know who Nathan is, it's David's cousin. We grew up with him throughout the ages and stuff like that. But so now all 4 of him, all 4 girls, there's his kids.
His wife and his 3 daughters.
Okay, so there's a daughter in there that's not his biologically.
His wife is 1.
Oh, okay.
And his 3.
I meant
daughters.
like 3. I thought he had 3 or 4 kids. So.
No, 4 girls.
Wow.
His wife and his 3 daughters.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. He's gonna carry a big shotgun once they get older.
Yeah. Well, the oldest, she's got to be like 10 or 11 or 12.
Okay. So now that kind of brings up once you get older and your daughter starts dating and stuff like that.
She can't be until she's 35.
Shit. I dropped my phone. 35.
Yeah.
that's kind of a long stretch there, my friend.
Yeah.
They usually rebel after the age of 12 or 13.
Yeah.
So, but you know what though?
What about you? You gonna let your girls date? Other dogs around in the park?
They're neutered, or not neutered, but
Oh.
spayed. So,
Oh, perfect. So they can date all they want.
yeah. There was Laura showed me a clip of this dog bus. It was basically this person had this bus, and the dogs would go with them and sit in a bus seat, and they would go for long walks. So basically, it was like a dog walking service, and they would the dogs would go up and jump out of the seat and get buckled, and that'd be a fucking cool job to have.
So what is it?
Okay, so
Where dogs just ride on a
yep,
bus?
they ride on a bus, and they get buckled in, and then they go to some kind of park or something like that, and then the people that walk the dogs would take them off the bus and let them walk, and then they deliver them home.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You gonna do it?
No, I mean, this was a Instagram story, so it's probably out somewhere far from here, but
Yeah.
there was yeah, I don't know. I probably shouldn't say it, but anyways.
Say it.
Nah, it's
Say it.
that's all right. Anyways,
Say it.
no Jesse White movie review this week.
Well, yeah, it's because you did this other episode
Like,
3 days later.
yeah, no, he's gonna do a Megan, I think that's what the movie's called. I'm not really sure,
heard of it.
but I texted him and was like, "What's the next movie review?" And he said that movie, and yeah,
Actually, speaking of movies, we took Harper to see the new Avatar
Yep.
movie.
how'd she do?
Yeah. She did great.
Yeah,
She watched the whole movie. They got up to go pee once, like midway through the movie. I didn't have anything to drink in the movie, and I had to pee so bad by the end of it.
oh, so you hold it in the whole movie?
Well, I didn't have anything to drink in the movie, so I don't know why I had to pee, but I just ended up having to pee.
Maybe it was your anxiety?
I don't think so.
No.
I'm trying to think, what did I have before? I think I had a cup of coffee
Oh, that's gonna do you in.
before we went, but yeah, like that 3-hour movie just like ate up the whole day. It was like a 10:30 in the morning showing, and we got out at 3 hours later, and we came home for lunch, and then we immediately after lunch went to go grocery shopping, and boom, the whole day.
Was she pooped out?
Yeah, I think so. I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
But yeah, it's a good movie. So whatever Jesse said in the movie review,
yeah.
maybe I agree, maybe I don't agree. I don't know because I don't know what he said, but yeah, it was. A
I
good
think it was
movie.
a 3 out of 5. He said.
Okay.
So, but
That's a rookie score.
oh, you know what, dude? I think he does the greatest movie reviews I've seen. He should start.
I haven't listened to it.
You'll have to listen to it.
I'll have to. Yeah.
He like prepares for it, and it's crazy. Like, he should start his own Instagram page and just do movie reviews. He might be picked up from some radio station or TV and make a career out of it. He's so good. He did I think it was like, I don't know if it was like Thursday or Friday, he did movie reviews, but he would post them on Instagram and he would talk about it, and I'm like, "Hey, why don't you, I'll pay you to go to the movies, do a review, and and he was like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll do it. And I paid him twice to do 2 movie reviews, and I think it was the best money I've ever spent, hands down. He is so
Didn't
good.
even have to go see the movie, right?
I didn't even have to go see the movie. So he could be just looking it up on Google reviews and shit like that, and but you know what? Best money I've ever spent.
Well, that's good.
And you
I'll
know
have
what?
to
Just
write that
helps him
one.
out too. He gets to see a movie for free. So
Yeah. And I know the boy loves movies.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you know what, like, I think, I'm not 100% where this is going to go, like the podcast, but if it goes far and we do well and we grow, I want to bring as many people as possible with me and to do this thing.
You'll get picked up by Spotify for $20 million.
Was that like Joe Rogan money?
Exclusively with Spotify. No, I don't do this. What do you use for your music listening?
Do you do
Spotify, or do you just like Pandora Radio, or just look up songs on YouTube? Oh wait, no, you got your little box thing. What is it? Hey Google, play the Backstreet Boys.
No, okay, so
did it hear me?
No, it doesn't hear because I have my headphones. But no, I use Sirius Satellite Radio to listen to my music.
Sirius Satellite. You don't even have a car. What are you doing with Sirius Satellite Radio?
Well, they have the app. They have. I could play on my Google. But I use Sirius Satellite Radio. I had like 3 months free, but once I hit December, I started paying, and I'll probably cancel it and try to get another 3 months free.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You'll have to use a different email address.
No, I had it before. I got 3 months free, and then I canceled it, and then they're like, "Oh, join again for 3 months free." So I was like, "Fuck it." Okay. So I joined again, and then once it hit December, I started paying. But I usually I don't know if I can say it, but whatever. I use a earpiece at work on the weekends.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah, I use a earpiece, and I listen to music, and yeah, so.
Well, I use Apple Music.
Okay. Now, how much does that a month?
It's like $10 a month.
Oh, that's not bad.
I really just need to buy the year subscription of it to like save a couple bucks.
Yeah. What's a year, like 50 something bucks?
Like $100.
Oh. Don't do it. I can tell you this much right now.
I've been doing it for a year already.
Well, do you listen to music at the gym?
All the time.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that would make sense. So, yeah, that'd probably be worth your investment. But yeah, I only listen to music on the weekends when I work. I'll have the earpiece in, and I'll listen to. There's a station called Project Emo, and it plays like 2000s to now emo music. And
you love it, right? You love it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Makes you feel like you're in high school again.
Oh yeah.
'Cause you're stuck in high school.
When I was in 2006, that's all I would listen to was like emo music. And yeah, so that it brings me back to days where we didn't have to worry about bills, we didn't have to worry about shit.
Yeah.
But now I am 29 years old and paying bills.
Remember, I can't remember if it was, I don't think it was the last one, but the previous one, we were talking about how much we spent.
Okay.
For the holidays. So, like, my credit card bill was due, so I just, like, put everything on the credit card this holiday season.
What was the damage?
$1,600.
Damn.
Not all of it was Christmas related, but majority of it was Christmas. Like, god damn, it's like, that doesn't sound right. It's like doing the math in my head. It's like, I spent this, but yeah. $1,600. Like,
now, can you look up your purchase history? Yeah, that's what.
Yep.
Yeah, just make sure there's no funky charges.
Yep.
But yeah, so I Kohl's. I put everything on my Kohl's card this year. It was $200 of that I placed everything for Christmas gifts for my family, and then I placed I actually saved money for the ring for Laura, saved everything for that, and then yeah, so I didn't really spend that much on Christmas this year.
This is like the whole like holiday season. I mean, not all the stuff was Christmas related.
Oh, so like
but
like fast food. If you're going out to get Christmas presents, shit like that, that's dangerous. Don't do that, man. You get a habit of doing that, putting everything on your credit card. But
it's the best way to build credit. You put everything on the credit card and you pay it off.
I guess
if you can afford it.
Yeah,
And that's what we're gonna do when we buy all the podcast stuff. I'm gonna put it all on my credit card, and you're gonna pay me for it, and then boom, $200 worth of cash back.
Now, okay, so are we splitting the $200?
No way, dude. It's my credit card.
I guess you could say that it would be a payback for doing the podcast with me. So, but yeah.
So now we need to talk about how we need to do a fundraiser.
Like a GoFundMe?
Yep.
Oh, actually, no. It wouldn't be a GoFundMe. It would be a Kickstarter.
A GoFundMe. It's a GoFundMe.
GoFund David.
GoFundMe.
All right, let's go. Let's hear it.
So, like I was telling you, I think I sent it to you. So, years ago, like 3 years ago, just like looking at guitars, right? I come up across a dream guitar, the Zakk Wylde Signature Les Paul Custom in left-handed, which is like unheard of, right?
Rare.
Because I'm a left-handed guitar player. There's only one other that I've seen, and it was the camo one. So there's like two that I know of. There's possibly a third that I've seen, but I can get more to that later. So it was like right before the Corona happened, I think. I saw it on Reverb, and the guy had it priced like at the time like ridiculously priced. And then he listed it a couple times, took it off, relisted it, and then like years went by. And I'm just looking last night, and he relisted it. The guitar, a Zakk Wylde Les Paul Custom got relisted, or listed, I should say. So I click on it, and it was the dude who was selling it from yesteryear. And because I remember, because the guy's shop is called Your Mom. Like your mom.
Okay.
YOUR mom. Your mom's Reverb shop. And he's wheeling and dealing on the Reverb, and he's had that guitar for a bunch of years, and a lot of the parts are, not a lot of parts, but the strap buttons, the knobs, and the pickups have been replaced.
Okay.
And he's asking $11,000 for it, and it's like, there's a bunch on there listed for around that price, little less, little more, that are not selling. So it's like, he's asking way too much for it. Ones for that year, because it's a 2004, have sold for $10,000, $7,000, and $5,000. Because I was looking like before we did the episode. So he's got it listed for $11,000. We're doing a GoFundMe for $12,000. Whatever I don't spend, we'll donate to a charity of our choice.
So we started GoFundMe to you buying a Les Paul guitar.
Yep. Not just any. The Zakk Wylde Les Paul Custom.
Now, I can see people already being like, why are we GoFunding me for a guitar when we can be funding...
Why would I want to spend my hard-earned money that I worked so hard for when I can just have people buy it for me?
I don't know if that's how GoFundMe works. Usually
that's exactly how GoFundMe works.
I think it's more for people that are in distress and have...
I am in distress. I am depressed because I don't have this guitar.
No,
I have the counterfeit version that I spent like $200 on, and then I bought $200 pickups.
Okay.
For it.
So, okay. Yeah, I just don't think that's a good idea.
Why?
I don't know.
Listen, I'm depressed. Okay. I'm without my family. All I have is my amazing wife and daughter here. I'm a bajillion miles away from home. I have no friends here. And I'm depressed. All I have is my wife and kid, who are the world to me. And, this guitar will make me happier.
Yeah.
So it can just sit in its case and never be played. And when I'm an old man, I'll sell them all and leave all the money to the kid.
So let's talk about the investments of your guitars you have now.
Okay.
So, as as of now, how much do you think in total is your guitar inventory?
Well, let me see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 guitars, electric guitars. 8 electric guitars here in sunny North Florida. I have 1 at my Uncle Scott's house, so that's 9. Then I have my bass there also, so that's 10. And then I have 1 acoustic here, so that's 11. And then I have a guitar that I took the strings off because the neck was all warped, so that's 11, right? Or 12?
I think so, yeah, I don't know.
I think it was 11.
Yeah,
right?
11.
And then I have an acoustic guitar that I left at my sister's house because one of the kids is left-handed and it's all beat to shit. So I'm like, yeah, just have at it. So that's 12, right?
Yep.
And then I have a classical guitar that I got when I was in college for music production because, I was like, I already knew how to play, but they wanted me to learn how to play classical. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I just want to play rock and roll. I'm not interested in learning all this musical theory just to hit record for somebody. So that's what, 13 guitars.
Damn.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are worth something.
Okay, so now let's say this. Let's say your apartment catches on fire and those guitars were in the fire. Do you have them insured?
We have renter's insurance up to
$1 billion?
like, I don't know, like $100,000 I think is what the thing is. So I don't have $100,000 worth of gear, but yeah, if I lose them, I will be so sad.
Word of advice that I got, and I still have to do it. I called my property insurance. Well, I mean, basically traveler's insurance. And the lady said that within the new year, we have to take photos of what's in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So if, let's say, something happens to our place and it catches on fire, they know what's in our house so they can insure it. Because people lately have been just trying to start fires in their houses and just claiming the shit that's in it. So with photos of whatever's in your house and you send it to the insurance company, they know, have on record of what you own. So I would do probably tomorrow or the next day is just take photos of whatever you have. Because the other thing too is that she told me too is that the ring on our doorbell can be deductible from each month of our payment for our insurance, because we have security cameras. We have 2. We have one in the front door, and we have one in the house. So that could be deducted off of our renter's insurance. Because what happened was is that I paid my monthly. You could basically pay monthly, or you could pay for the whole year. And
we did the whole year.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I was thinking about doing it because it's only it's not that expensive, but I was a little bit late on my payment, and I'm like, oh shit, I completely forgot about it. And so I talked to them for a while, and so she just, I asked her what kind of discount I can get, and she was like, if you can take pictures, if you can prove that you have a ring on the front door and stuff like that. And then I'll probably even save even more because I'll have a security camera on the shed. So it's a new world now. Everywhere you gotta have cameras. And you know what? I think it's a brilliant thing to do. If you have your own place, have a camera. And then, yeah, it's a whole new world.
Yeah, there's one apartment on our floor of like the because I don't like go throughout the whole floor. There's just like a certain area that I walk to, like either this elevator or this other elevator or the stairs. So it's like there's just a section of the building that I go to. One section by the main elevator. There's one Ring camera in the whole area that I travel.
Now, okay, so is the Ring camera... Okay, so... on the door, right? Is it hanging from the door and it has the Ring camera, or is it right in the building?
It's in the building. To get into the rooms or apartments,
Okay.
you have to be in the building, right? So, all right. So there's like when office hours are closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to swipe your key fob twice.
Okay.
To get into the front door. If you're like coming in the front, you have to you do the little, they call it a dongle.
Yeah.
And it unlocks the door, and then you're in like the room where the mailboxes are, right? And then you swipe it again to get to the next door,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is where the elevators and the gym is. And then you swipe the thing to take the elevator.
There you go.
So like the first and second floor, so you can get to the second floor, which is like where the pool is. You have to do the key thing there, but like third floor and up, you don't need the key thing, but you can't get to those floors unless you go through the first or second. So like all the elevators, you have to swipe the thing, and when closing hours, or when the place is closed, you have to swipe the thing, and the same as the gate garage.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
there's all those security features, but our bike still got stolen.
Yeah. And
And I remember when we moved in, after like we got our TV and internet hooked up, it was like a couple days. I think maybe it was the same day. Like someone called saying that they were from AT&T, and saying that we were selected to get a free gift. And that free gift was either something or like a security camera. I'm like, well, I don't really need this because the place where I live has security features. But it was just like so sketchy and like weird. It seemed like a scam. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, I'm not interested.
then you called your cell phone?
But yeah, because that's all I have is a cell phone.
That's true. I mean, like, no one has landlines anymore.
I'm like, well, it's like, we don't need that here because there's a lot of security features here.
Yeah. It's probably someone trying to scam you and get your life savings. But, yeah. I mean, yeah, so. Anything you want to talk about?
Well, there was that guitar thing, but that's okay. We just talked about that. Do we have any emails before I get into the next subject?
Let me check right now. Hold on.
Probably not. No one ever does, right?
Yeah, we used to get emails in the beginning, but no one wants to show some love now. Nope, nothing.
Damn. Okay, so let me just pull up the thingy real quick, like, so you can find it. Geocaching. Do you know what geocaching is?
No.
Oh, so like, okay, so geocaching is like a treasure hunt, right?
Yeah.
Me and Brett and I, we used to geocache.
Okay.
So like, I honestly can't remember how it like goes, but there's a website, and I'm pretty sure there was an app for it back in the day, and so there's probably an app now. But basically, there's like clues and coordinates,
okay,
right? And clues, so you like, you go try to find these things,
Yeah.
like a little treasure thing, and they're like all over, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a shit ton in Canada. But like I remember the very first one that I did with Brett, it was like something I was on 21, like as you're getting close to Canandaigua, there was like a lookout,
Yeah.
right? But they have since, when I say they, Parks and Recreation probably have revamped that lookout
Yeah.
area. So like that geocache is no longer there because it was like this little like film canister,
Yeah.
right? In a that was like in a so it's like a how they like the parking lot had like telephone poles
Yeah.
like quartered or so like just like a chunk of it was like sticking up from the ground and that was like the fence type of thing. So like somebody had a geocache. It was like just the treasure piece of itself was just like soggy paper that people would write their names on, and when they found it. But it was like a film canister with a piece of wood to make it look like glued to the top, right, to make it look like it was
Blended
part
in,
of the
yeah.
thing, and like the clue was like, sit down, enjoy the view, or something like that. And then you just like you look and like, oh, maybe. But what's this weird piece of wood doing right here? And boom, there it is. And so yeah, like I saw a thing about geocaching today, and it made me think of it because I haven't done it in I don't know, a really long time. Like whenever I got my first iPhone, I think so Brett and I would geocache hunt all the time. And I saw a thing and it got me thinking about it. It's like, do people do it anymore? And like you don't even know what it is.
Well, they have a thing. I saw an ad on Instagram. It was like a scavenger hunt for people that want, or like basically they would get clues and then they would go and find these certain places and scan a code, and then it would give you another clue, and then you scan another code. But yeah, I mean, I've heard of that, and I've heard a couple other things, but I mean, people that, like, especially me that lives out in the middle of nowhere, no one does that. So I mean, it's kind of pointless unless you live in a city or somewhere. Yeah, it's kind of.
Well, you don't know that people don't do it because you didn't even know what it was.
I know I don't know what you're talking about because I've never heard of it, but
Because you have a life.
yeah. So I mean, but I've heard of like the scavenger hunt that I saw on Instagram. Remember back in high school, good old high school days, ratemypoo.com.
No. Please elaborate.
So ratemypoo.com was actually like pictures of toilets that had shit in them, and people would rate them from like 1 to 10, and that was like the biggest thing ever when I was probably 8th, 9th grade. It was like literally just people taking pictures of like public restrooms with like shit everywhere. So let's say if you had like a little turd in the toilet, it would probably be like 1 star. But if it was like an explosion of fucking shit, like on the walls, you don't know if it was real or fake, but we rated it 10. And I just remember that, and I remember the librarian of the high school, she's like doing her rounds, because I don't know, doing her rounds, and she glanced over and we got detention because we were looking up ratemypoo.com.
Okay, that's funny. So, do you remember the Purple Pig music festival at all?
Yes.
It was a short-lived
Yes.
thing.
No. Okay, so let me
dude
explain something about the
in town.
Purple Pig real quick before you go off to that. Purple Pig was a bar at the end of Dugway Road. Did you know that?
I knew it was a bar somewhere.
Yeah, it was at the end of Dugway Road. My mom,
Which end?
the one on 64. So
Okay, so closer to your end, well, 64 end, I
yeah,
guess you could say.
so
but yeah.
64 had a bar called the Purple Pig, and I've met the owner, and he's a blind guy. He has a seeing dog and everything. When Fandango's in Bloomfield was open, he used to come in there with his seeing eye dog, and one time I started conversations with him, and he was like, yeah, I'm the owner of the Purple Pig. And I'm like,
what the fuck's a purple peg? That's not a thing around
yeah.
here.
So I was like,
Crazy old bat.
and so I talked to him, and then I was like, I told my mom, I'm like, yeah, I met the owner of the Purple Pig. She's like, do you know where the Purple Pig was? I was like, yeah. Or I was like, no. And she was like, yeah, that was the end of Dugway. Like, that used to be a big bar that was hopping back in the day, but it burned down. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm sorry to interrupt you, but yeah.
All right, so Purple Pig Music Festival, Naple Light, trying to get it going at this property that he owned, and he had like a blueberry farm and the music festival, and he like built a bunch of stages, and so it's like the first, I can't remember if it was, yeah, it was the first, so the year that I moved back from Colorado, my cousin Nathan and I, we went to it. My boss was catering it because it was like really tiny then, but there was a bunch of porta shitters, right? And just like, this is not relevant to the story, but my cousin Nathan, he had like he was wearing a U.S. Marine Corps sweatshirt.
Okay.
And like, he had a full beard and stuff, and I can't remember what his hair was like, but one guy's like, "Thank you for your service." But anywho, at the porta potties, I just remember like, I opened up because I had to go potty, and there's just like shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, how? Come on. Like, how?
Some people have Crohn's disease, man. That shit fucking hits you hard.
It was everywhere. Like, all over the walls, all over the seat. It's like, seriously? Come on. Fucking goddamn hippies.
When we went to the Backstreet Boys concert, there was like certain parking spaces like everywhere, and they had like porta potties in each one. And so Laura's like, oh, you should go try to use the bathroom before we go to the venue. So I went, and literally there's toilet paper everywhere, like wet toilet paper, just everywhere, piss everywhere. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to use it. And I at the end of the night, we just decided to stay when the car let me just rephrase that. So if all the cars leave, we would stay.
Yep.
Because they would just wait for the traffic. So I ended up drinking beer, and I went to the porta potty again. It's just fucking a mess. They just fucking destroyed that porta potty. Like, think about owning a porta potty business. Mm-hmm. Like, I guess they would just take a hose and just spray that shit down and then reuse it again.
Yeah, they like suck they have like they do this, they have a hose and they suck everything up, and then they spray it down with a disinfectant type of water stuff.
Yeah, like, I guess it might be good money in that shit. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Just fucking.
I was like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just takes a certain person to clean that shit. But you know what? I've seen some crazy shit since I've worked in the hospital. So.
Yeah. I've spent my fair share of years using porta potties on, field exercises and whatnot. So
yeah.
One time, 2 of my fellow Navy personnel, they dropped their phones in the porta shitter. And then, like, not long after that happened, people came to clean it up. Like, hey, we got 2 phones. One guy's like, yep, I need it back. And the other guy's like, nope, I don't want it. It's in poop. I don't want it.
I wouldn't want that shit either. Fuck that. I mean, if you had a warranty, maybe, but you got to bring that fucking phone. Let's say you had an Apple phone. You bring that to the Apple store or whatever fucking shit, and you put it on the counter. That shit's on the counter now. That shit. But you know what? It's probably not or it's not your problem, because you know what? I have a warranty.
Yeah, like,
you can deal with the feces.
I remember, so it was like when the Apple phones first came out, I was at the Apple store in Victor.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if I was like buying something or doing something, but I just remember like people taking their phones to the Genius bar.
Yep.
When it was a thing, and the dudes would be like looking in the fuck's it called? The headphone jack,
yep.
Right? With a flashlight. Oh, yep, you got water on it. We can't fix it.
Oh.
It's like, well, how do you know? And it's just like, impossible. I've never had it. It's like, oh yeah, blah blah. You got water in it. So like, you take your poop phone, right? You're like, oh yeah, you got poop in it. Sorry, we can't fix it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, should we talk about the Bills thing, or is that a little bit too dark?
I mean, it's not that dark.
Maybe we shouldn't talk
But,
about it.
so it was just funny. So like, you know how Ahmet is like a conspiracy
Yep.
theorist, and he has every right to be. Ahmet, I believe a lot of the stuff you say because you're one of the few, bro. You're one of the few. I don't know if you ever listen to this, but
Yeah, it's
we love you, brother. So anywho, I just remember him saying stuff about how like a lot of like European soccer players are just like dropping dead, right?
Yeah.
So like, I had no idea what was going on when that game was happening. It was like I'm in this text chat with my uncle and my cousin and TJ. And Scott was just talking about the Bills, and I was just like, we were doing something, so I was like not really preoccupied by the phone like I usually am.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's like blowing up because they're talking about it, and they're talking about how they didn't really say anything happened. So I just like I googled it, and it's like, yeah, the dude had let's just say he had a heart attack, but he didn't have a heart attack. But so I was like, oh man, maybe it's crazy. Maybe it's from the corona vaccine, and I didn't say anything, but I was like thinking of that, and then like someone out of those three people said something about that, and I was like, yeah, that's crazy. I was like, allegedly, like European soccer players are dropping like flies because of the corona stuff, and like before I hit send, TJ said something similar along the lines of that too. But and then read the news today about, because it's all over Yahoo News, and Yahoo News is like the worst. They're so biased. Yeah, they're so biased. It's bad.
Yeah.
They were talking about, it was like, let me see if it's on here still, but so I can say what it actually said. But
hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna you go look for it.
let me see if I can. Yeah, it's right here. Perfect. Hurry up, Evan. So the headline on Yahoo News for this, it says, baseless tweets begin with minutes of NFL collapse. Right? So that's what the headline says. And then COVID misinformation spikes in wake of Damar Hamlin's on-field collapse. The baseless tweets begin to circulate within minutes of Buffalo Bills safety, whatever the dude's name is, stunning collapse on the field during Monday Night Football. Anti-vaxxers and right-wing provocateurs sought to link the injury that left Hamlin in critical condition and the coronavirus vaccine without any evidence. Their claims built on years of coronavirus vaccine misinformation that has been seeded across social media. And then a bunch of more bullshit. Blah 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 blah. But let's get down to the comments, see what some people are saying. We are told to follow science. Doesn't the pursuit of answers according to science require asking questions? It does seem that more perfectly healthy athletes in their prime are having heart issues. With increased frequency, it needs to be considered and questioned. If you legitimately want to say you're a following of the science, to shut down and questioning is shutting down science. In actual science, with a medical situation happens, everything is on the table, blah, 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 blah. But there was one thing that I read that someone said, about how this person was in the military, and they, we have all these vaccinations, right? And then, nothing bad happened with any of those,
Yeah.
right? And then, the coronavirus, there's this person was talking about, then he had to get the coronavirus, and he's never been more sick in his life. And he got the second one, and he's been worse. And then the doctor advised him, don't get the booster since you're having a real hard time with this. But yeah, so I don't want to say that the dude is having issues with the corona vaccine, but two cardiologists, I didn't read the article, but two cardiologists, blah, 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 bliss. And then, there's people who, like, yeah, the dude took a hit to the chest pretty hard, so that could have, like, knocked his heart out of rhythm, but,
Well, you got to look at the person's diet, too. I mean, spoiler alert to anyone that wants to watch Clerks 3. They say, you got to watch what you eat because after a while, it can catch up to you.
So true. Look at me. I'm like a bowl full of jelly.
If you're not active, like when I was working for JIE, I would sit in front of the computer, eat, take naps. I was not healthy. And like the first week I was working at the hospital, I would have like, leg pain and like chest pain. But then after that week, I was fine. But yeah, it all depends on like what you eat and shit. And what you do and how active you are.
Yeah, it's like I go to the gym a couple times a week, but I feel like I'm at my heaviest that I've ever been. I haven't stepped on a scale since September, but I was like 230 pounds. And like when I was in New York, I got down to 213. And I don't know if it's like, we've talked about this before, like being at sea level, I think also has something to do with it.
Yeah.
As opposed to being like higher up in elevations where your blood is working harder and all that stuff. But that's why I'm going to lose 52 pounds in 52 weeks. Fingers crossed.
I mean, if you worked at where I work, you will lose the pounds because
Oh, are you guys hiring?
I think the afternoon shift's hiring, but I don't think I don't think like the day is hiring.
Alright, it's like I just need to do like 4 or 3 12-hour days, right?
You
so
could
I can
probably
have 4
do
days
that.
off.
Yeah.
I was like, need to like get it in writing. I'm going to work this many hours at this days. Don't try this because this BS holidays changing every other holidays.
You can be per diem. They can call you when they need you, and then you could work. That's what some people do there.
When I start looking for a job again, I'm going to, taking things that I've read and learned and try to apply that, but like, and get it all in writing, saying like I want to work
this many hours from this many days.
4 10-hour days in a row, and then get that in writing saying, yeah, we can do that and all that stuff. And then like there's other things like, did you have like an actual job interview?
Yep.
Okay,
well,
so
my
like,
job interview was over the phone, and then because basically everyone knows me already, like, because Laura works there, so everyone kind of knew me already. So I had like a job over the phone interview, and it only took like 10 minutes.
Yeah. So like, did they ask you the question? So do you have any questions for us at the end?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I don't have any. Thanks for your time.
That's
not what you want to do. But like, I can't remember exactly what it is that I don't think I have it written down. But basically, you want to be like, ask questions of like, in this position, what do people do to like succeed, and blah 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 this and blah 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 that, and then like, what do I need to do to succeed in this position, and blah 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 this and blah 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 that, and like, what is the onboard hiring process, or what is the onboard training process like? I'm like, oh, good questions. Like, what can I expect after being in this position for a few years? What can I expect for more challenges and stuff like that? So they should, sees that you're like the dude for the job or whatever, So I'm gonna try to take those things that I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you know what.
Apply to work at a gas station.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, New York right now is like, there's a million jobs right now. Indeed, that job searching website. I get emails every day with a list of jobs that are happening. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's jobs out there. I'm sure you can.
Do you ever get any offers?
No, I didn't make a profile, but I signed up for their like job list. So I'll get every day a job list of what's available and whatnot. So I mean, it's almost, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure once you move back to New York, you'll find a job. It
Yeah.
Now the thing is, though, you have a kid. Is your wife gonna be like a stay-at-home mom?
No.
She gonna be working too?
Yeah, so like she's, she pretty much has the internship, right? Where she can, leave, where we can leave here and she can finish her 6 months back home, right? So she's got the internship with the company.
Okay.
Now we just need it to be approved on the Navy's end.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay.
So she told them today that, hey, my request to work for you guys has been routed. She's like, great. Or not she, but like they were like, great. Let us know when it gets approved and we can hash out all the details. So then I asked her, it's like, hey, do they have any like job openings in the survey department for people that have no survey skills? For me, because
Yeah.
I was been in the Navy for going on 10 years in this March, and like I have like no skills.
Yeah, I mean,
right. Besides like I'm driving trucks, but I don't want to be a truck driver and I don't want to be a heavy equipment operator. The only heavy equipment operating that I want to do is I want to be a snow groomer.
Oh, that would be a. I'm gonna go back to 2000s. That would be a bomb job.
Just grooming the snow.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's gonna be it for the Bogart Podcast this week. Again, call on the show. We want to hear what you say. 585.
Yeah, people, come on. It's like we're talking to nobody
You know.
here, all right? Let us know that you're listening.
585-678-1660. You can email the show, thebogartpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, we'll see you on the other side.
Other side of what?
My asshole.
Oh, wait, one more thing. How much dick do you suck?
This has been a Beer Pirate Radio production.